At the closing ceremonies, I was lucky enough to be one of the flag bearers. So, like, just seeing the medal around my neck and, like, not a lot of other people had medals, I'm like, wow, we did that. We were the first team to make a podium of Canada Summer Games for women's baseball.
Welcome to episode 350 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. Things continue to wind down on the local baseball scene with national championships now wrapped up. We'll get into some of those in a moment, but first, the news headlines. And we'll start in the bigs with some good news by the sounds of it surrounding Calgary's Michael Soroka, as after getting injured just 2 innings into his first start with the Chicago Cubs after being acquired from Washington at the trade deadline, the Cubs say he's feeling better every day and that he's turned a corner on the throwing side, so it's just a matter of building up over the next week or two. The hope is that he can join the pitching staff for the playoff run, although it's not certain yet on whether he's going to be a starter or a long reliever. Time will tell. Edmonton's Eric Sabrowski continues to be a workhorse for the Cleveland Guardians. He's made 2 more appearances this past week, allowing only a home run to Jock Peterson against Texas, while striking out 3 in 1 full inning of work. He has a 1.42 ERA in 21 appearances, striking out 27 in 19 innings. And former Edmonton prospects and Okotoks Dawgs utilityman Cody Funderburk is getting plenty of airtime in Canada as his Minnesota Twins are visiting the Toronto Blue Jays. The middle reliever has made 2 appearances, allowing no runs on 2 hits and no walks while striking out 3. He's 3-1 on the season with a 4.55 ERA in 25 appearances. To the minors we go, and in AAA, Vauxhall Academy grad Adam Macko made yet another appearance out of the bullpen Tuesday night. He allowed 1 run on 2 hits and 2 walks while striking out 4 in 3+ innings of work for the Buffalo Bisons. The Stony Plain native sports a 3-8 record with a 5.10 ERA in 18 total appearances, including 3 straight from the pen. Longtime teammate and former Vauxhall roommate Damiano Palmigiani has been struggling this season, hitting just .151 with a homer and 16 RBI in 56 games. As a result, he's been placed on the Bison's development list effective last Saturday. It's been a bit of a grind for Wetaskiwin's Matt Kootenay since joining the AA Rocket City Trash Pandas to start August. He's picked it up of late, though, and is now hitting .170 with a homer and 3 RBI since the promotion. A big congratulations to Okotoks grad Gavin Logan on picking up his first AA home run with the Amarillo Sod Poodles. The Oyen native did it on Tuesday night after joining the team earlier this month. He's had a solid season, splitting time at 3 different levels of the Arizona Diamondbacks farm system. Former Dog Matt Wilkinson has been pitching very well in his last few outings. He had his longest outing of the season last Thursday, allowing 1 run on 4 hits and a walk while striking out 6 in 7 innings of work. Then last night, being Wednesday, he allowed no runs on 5 hits and a walk while striking out 7 in 4+. Tugboat is 4-9 in 24 starts this season with a 4.22 ERA and, get this, 115 strikeouts. And a tip of the cap to Vauxhall grad and former Sylvan Lake Gulls fan favorite Ty Boudreau on making his professional debut with the Single-A Tampa Tarpons. His first appearance came August 20th, where he allowed no runs or hits with a walk and 2 strikeouts in 1 inning of work. He came back in on Tuesday night and got roughed up a little bit, allowing 1 run on 3 hits and a walk while striking out 2 in an inning and 2/3. In other pro news, friend of the show and Lethbridge Bulls all-star Levi Abbott has signed on with the American Association's Winnipeg Goldeyes. The Vauxhall Academy grad was outstanding this summer with the Bulls and could very well take home the WCBL's Pitcher of the Year award. Those should be handed out sometime over the next month or so. In other news around Alberta's baseball world, it was an historic week in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador as women's baseball made its debut in the Canada Summer Games. Over the weekend, it was the medal round, and after running roughshod over the competition most of the week, Alberta captured silver, falling in the final to Ontario. Congratulations to the entire team on making our province proud. We'll hear from Sydney Klebanosky in just a few minutes. A trio of Baseball Canada national championships were held over the weekend to put the wraps on the season. In 13U, Ontario knocked off BC in the gold medal game, while Alberta, represented by Dawgs Academy, finished in 6th. At the 15U Ray Carter Cup, it was BC beating Ontario for gold, while Alberta, also repped by the Dogs, finished in 7th. And at the men's national championship in Regina, Carolina, New Brunswick, who had some familiar faces in the lineup like Max Grant, Hayden Dow, and Cole McLaren, came away with gold, knocking off Quebec. Saskatchewan won bronze, upsetting the host Regina Trappers. Team Alberta, represented by the Calgary Rockies, lost to Quebec in the quarterfinals. Congratulations to the Dawgs Academy 18U Black team on being named number 2 on the Perfect Game Travel Team End of Summer rankings. They're only behind the U.S. Prime Scout team. The Dawgs 18U Red Squad finished in 40th. On the Baseball Alberta front, the Rawlings Cup was held this past weekend in Sherwood Park. Congratulations to the Black Gold 47s on winning the 14U event, while the Parkland Twins captured the 16U. That sets the stage for this weekend's Western Canada Prospects Series in St. Albert. The 4 Western provinces will be represented in the 14U and 16U divisions, with games going all weekend long. Congratulations to all the athletes who were named earlier this week to those rosters. If you need your baseball fix in Southern Alberta this weekend, Medicine Hat is hosting the 2025 Alberta Zone Championships at Athletic Park and Jeffreys Park. The top U15 players from across the province will be taking part. And as we head into the fall, if you have stories you'd like to pass our way or events you'd like to promote, just drop me a line at joe@albertadugoutstories.com and I'll do my best to get it on the air. On to this week's guests, and we'll head back to the big news item from the past week. It was history in the making as women's baseball was finally added to the Canada Summer Games, and the athletes did not disappoint. Team Alberta in particular was a wrecking ball with big wins over BC, Ontario, Quebec, Newfoundland and Labrador, and Nova Scotia to make it to the gold medal matchup. Unfortunately, they fell 8-5 in the championship to Ontario. One of the big pieces to their success all week long, though, was Spruce Grove's Sydney Klebanosky, who was a steady presence at the plate and at first base to help secure a silver medal. Sydney, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, anytime.
Canada Games silver medalist. How does that sound?
It's obviously a really good title. I'm happy to have it because I know we wanted gold, but going there and being the first team to ever be on the podium and get a silver medal, it felt really good.
Take us back to the beginning, even before the games. You get named to that team. As you mentioned, this is the first time women's baseball has been involved in Canada Summer Games. So what goes through your mind in that moment, knowing you're making history?
When I made the team, I was obviously really excited, like having the opportunity to go to Newfoundland and play in the games. I never thought it would be like that big, but once I got there, I'm like, whoa, like this is way bigger than what I thought it was ever going to be. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like a surreal experience, and I was just like in awe once I got there and so happy I pushed and made the team.
For sure. I know a lot of you had played together on teams previously. So did you go into these games thinking, hey, we've got a good shot at this? Like, hey, we're a pretty tight squad here?
Yeah, like when we were in Saskatoon last year for nationals, I think we only had like 4 or 5 different girls this year. We got a silver medal. So as soon as our team got made, we had the goal to make it back to the final game no matter what the cost was. So then once we made it to the final, we're like, okay, now it's time to bear down. Obviously, we weren't able to get the win, but just making it back to the finals and being with that group of girls, it made it even more special.
How impressed were you with your team's performance, especially through that round robin? Because you had your way with some teams through the course of the week.
Yeah, I was honestly really impressed. I thought every game was going to be tight, especially being in Pool A and having more of a competition and going against BC, Quebec, Ontario, all those big teams. And like our pitching came through, our hitting came through. We played good defense. So, I mean, with as good as our team is, I wasn't really surprised. But a couple of the blowouts, I'm like, geez, we're a good team.
On a personal note, how happy were you with your performance?
I was pretty happy through the round robin how I played. Like I just tried to do a job. If there's runners in scoring position, I just tried to score them and like did whatever I needed to help the team win. And then obviously as the course of the weekend went on, I fell off, but I was just happy I could do what I did to get our team in the position that we ended up in.
For sure. I know it's tough in the moment as you end up losing in that final and it doesn't feel like you're winning anything, but you are coming home with a silver medal. What's that like in the aftermath, knowing that, hey, you know, we should be proud of what we accomplished?
Yeah, obviously after the game, I was pretty upset, and there's 3 overages on the team. So me, Claire, and Brooke, we all looked at each other. We were like, we were so close again. and we just couldn't bring it home. But at the closing ceremonies, I was lucky enough to be one of the flag bearers. So just seeing the medal around my neck, and not a lot of other people had medals, I was just, I'm wow, we did that, and we were the first team to make a podium of Canada Summer Games for women's baseball. So
absolutely. What did it mean to you looking back on it to rep Alberta and do what you got to do over the course of the week?
It meant a lot to me because I've obviously done it in the past for just Team Alberta baseball, but doing it with other sports and having them there cheering you on, and knowing how close the community of Alberta sports is, and obviously the younger generation looking up to us, it meant a lot to me.
Mm-hmm. How much does a big event like that fuel the fire for later on, playing at the highest of stages, for example, whether it be, Team Canada or even beyond that?
Yeah, it does a lot. Honestly, for me, this weekend felt like a mini Olympics, honestly. And that just makes me more excited to push and continue chasing my dream of playing for Team Canada. And knowing if I can perform on a stage like that gives me the confidence that I can perform at an even bigger stage.
For sure. I love getting into the baseball journey in the past, so let's get into that now. You're originally from the Edmonton area. How did you get into the game in the first place?
I got into the game from my brother and my dad, because my brother's a year older than me, so he started. I don't even know how he got into the game, but I just followed his footsteps. He's probably one of my biggest role models, and I just wanted to be like him. So then I started playing, I think, when I was 6 years old, and my first game was with a broken arm. So from that moment, I knew I loved the game pretty much from that. So then every day in the backyard, me and my brother would play catch.
Very cool. You also play hockey, and a little bit of a spoiler for those who are listening, you're on your way to Lloydminster to go play some hockey. Did you play other sports other than those two, first off?
No, well, I used to do gymnastics and stuff, almost what most little girls did. But as soon as I got a little older, it's only been hockey and baseball for me. Give us
a scouting report on Sydney, the hockey player.
Yeah, I've been playing U18 AAA in Lloyd the past 2 years. So I'm heading back for tryouts. I have a practice tomorrow and then games on the weekend. So I hope I'm able to do good.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
Absolutely. Looking back on the young career to this point, do you have a favorite memory on the baseball field that stands out? The one that you had to really take that step back and go, I can't believe we get to do this.
I think it was my underage year when I got named on the U16 team, because I think I was 13 or 14 years old when I got named to that team, and we got to go all the way to Summerside, Prince Edward Island, so that was obviously a cool experience for me. I didn't get to play the most, but we were able to come home with a bronze medal, so that just opened my eyes to know what's possible for me if I keep working at it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side, we know baseball is a game of failure. So what's been maybe the biggest challenge or hurdle you've had to overcome over your journey so far?
I got hurt one hockey season, and that injury's kind of been lingering with me. I was fine for the baseball season, but it'd be one game I would tweak it again, and then it would just it's playing through pain almost. Mm-hmm. And just the struggle of that and not being at my best all the time.
That is a good one. I'm also curious. I've talked to different athletes who do multi-sports. I look at Madison Will and Caitlin Ross, a couple of the most recent that kind of stick out to mind. What's your key to being disciplined in the planning and the scheduling part? Because playing two or more sports can be a bit of a journey.
I have an actual schedule on my phone, so that helps me a lot. But it's helped that it's 2 different seasons. And Madison Will and Caitlin Ross are honestly 2 people I look up to. Mm-hmm. And when I was younger, I'm oh, they're good. They can do pretty much anything. So, yeah, I keep a mental schedule too. I'm okay, I have school this day, then I have hockey practice, or then I have baseball practice. I have to get my homework done by this time. So, I just mentally know what I have to get done, when I have to be done. So, yeah.
For sure. You have the PWHL doing its thing. The Pro Women's Baseball League's going to start next year. As an athlete with dreams of a big stage like that, how excited are you for the future of both sports?
I'm really excited. Like, I mean, my PWHL dream kind of came crushing down because I'm not as good as at hockey than I am at baseball. But obviously for the WPBL, just having tryouts this past weekend, it's a big eye opener. And like we were talking about it when we were in Newfoundland, and it's like there's us three girls that mainly talked about it, and we're just so excited. And we're all talking about like, oh, we're gonna go try out this time. Like, we're just like chasing our dreams of it.
Mm-hmm. How important is that in your eyes as a young up-and-coming athlete to be able to see something like that develop in front of your eyes? Because I'm personally a really big believer in if you can see it, you can be it. But I can't imagine being in your shoes and seeing it be firsthand. So what's that kind of mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. Like, obviously, younger me, I'd be like, whoa, and it'd be really cool. And I probably honestly would have worked harder when I was younger. But even now, I'm working as hard as I can just to get the opportunity and end up making the big stage and like making a name for myself. It's a really cool experience. And all the like older girls, like obviously Maddie Willem, Kaylin Ross, there's a couple like United States girls that I know that have been paving the way for a lot of women. And I kind of just want to do that for the younger generation and like push myself to end up making one of those teams one day.
For sure. A few fun ones here before we let you go, Sydney. First off, when you're at the ballpark as a fan, what's your go-to food?
Probably a hot dog or some sunflower seeds.
Oh, when you're having a hot dog, what's the condiment of choice?
I don't get any condiments. I just have the plain hot dog.
All right, because I know that ketchup and mustard can be very polarizing. I don't know if I've had many that'll be like, no, plain Jane it is. So kudos to you. What's your favorite baseball movie?
Probably The Sandlot or Rookie of the Year, I think is what it's called.
Yeah,
those.
Those are both really good ones and good flashbacks too. So I love them. And the last one is who's your baseball idol? Like the one person you really enjoyed watching on TV, or maybe it was somebody in person. Who was that person?
Probably my brother. Like, I've been looking up to him both hockey and baseball wise my whole life, and he just moved away yesterday actually for university in Fraser Valley he's going to play baseball there. So seeing him chase his dream of playing baseball, like, I don't know, I've just looked up to him my whole life, and now seeing him go do it makes me want to do it too.
That is awesome. Two more before we let you go. They're the standard ones we ask here on the show. First off, for those young athletes who are looking up to you or listening now and going, I want to be like that one day, what's that one piece of advice or those words of wisdom that you'd love to impart upon them?
Just keep chasing your dream and work hard. Like, if you work hard, anything's possible. No one can tell you no, pretty much, if you just put your nose down and work hard and enjoy every moment.
Fantastic. And the final one, what does a game of baseball mean to you, Sydney?
It means a lot. Obviously, like, I can't really put it into words what it means, but it just means a lot.
Well, it's meant a lot for us to be able to shine a light on your journey, Sydney. Again, congratulations on the silver medal and on all the successes you've had at this point. Continued success on the diamond and on the ice as well. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
All right, thank you.
We'll stay in St. John's and take a look back at the men's event where Alberta had a roller coaster with wins over BC and Ontario and losses to Saskatchewan and 2 to Quebec before beating Manitoba in the 5th place game. One of the highly touted pitchers heading in was Calgary's Tyson Kajmowicz. The Dawgs Academy hurler picked up the win against Ontario, allowing no runs on 3 hits and a walk while striking out 3 in 3 innings of work. The right-hander's season isn't done yet either, as he's heading to the Canadian Future Showcase in mid-September. Tyson, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Fresh off Canada Summer Games, how was that experience first off?
It was a really cool experience. It was a great time going down there and then having buddies on like Team BC, Team Nova Scotia, guys from Fredericton. It was real cool to be around all those guys and just like compete at that level of baseball.
Not just the baseball side of it, but did you have friends and buddies who might have been playing different sports as well during the course of the few days you were down in St. John's?
I had buddies on the second week down there playing volleyball, but nothing like the week I was there.
Gotcha. Looking back on it, how would you rate your performance, and how are you going to remember the week with Team Alberta?
Yeah, I think I had a pretty good performance down there. I came in against Ontario, tie game and then won 3 scoreless to win us the game. So that was a really cool experience, and it was loud on the field and just a great time all around.
Awesome to hear. Looking back on it, any lessons that maybe you took away from being in a big multi-sport event like that?
Not really. Besides, like, you just like seeing all the other talent there and like just being able to compete with all those guys and be around that talent. Like, it was the top 15 or 20 guys from Alberta, like the 08 and 09s, and there was a lot of good competition down there. So just a blast to be down there and compete.
Does it kind of give you a bit of a vote of confidence? We'll talk about the Canadian Future Showcase in a second, but gives you a bit of that nod of, hey, you know what, I belong here. I can play with the big boys kind of thing.
Yeah, it gave me a good amount of confidence. Like, I was just happy I did good down there, and going in the futures with a lot of confidence here.
For sure. Looking back on it, what did it mean to you to rep Alberta at a big national tournament like that?
It meant a lot. It was heartbreaking when we lost in quarters. I really wanted to move on. But, we learned a lot as a team and tried our best. Like, good competition.
Mm-hmm. As mentioned, Canadian Future Showcase is right around the corner. You got the invite. Take us back to when you found out. What went through your mind when you get the phone call or you see the Instagram post or whatever showing that, hey, my name's on this list?
So my first initial look at the list when it came out on the 18th was, like, I didn't see my name. So I was, like, worried. And I, like, looked again the second time, and I was like, oh, there's my name. And my family was pretty excited for me, and it was just a big stepping stone in my future for sure.
Mm-hmm. Is that something that you've kind of had circled on your calendar, like, hey, I want to do this?
Yeah, I think from the start of, like, my first, like, day in Okotoks last year, it was kind of like my goal going into this year was, like, I got to make futures.
So looking ahead to it, do you have any expectations or goals for yourself?
Yeah. I'd say some of my goals, like, would be just, like, perform at my best. Hopefully get back up there to, like, 93. And just play my baseball and be myself out there.
How much of it, in your eyes, is being on the showcase side of it and making sure that everybody gets to see what you bring to the table? And how much of it is trying to be a sponge and learning from the coaches, the people, the resources that are going to be around you for those few days?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of just being like a sponge and being able to absorb, like, all what the coaches have to say and, like, all the teammates giving me feedback on everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's to be a sponge down there and take a lot of information in. It's a really good, like, learning experience for me.
For sure. I love getting into the baseball pass, so let's get into it. How'd you get into baseball in the first place?
So I played hockey for most of my life, and my mom asked me one year if I wanted to try baseball, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. So I want to say, like, my 13-year AAA year when I played for the Cubs, my first year ever playing, like, actual baseball, was not a good year for me. I don't know. I didn't really like it, actually, so I stopped playing for a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not enjoying hockey. I'm going to try baseball again. So I started playing baseball. I went and played for the Calgary Babe Ruth League.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that year, I didn't have the best year. My cousin's from the Dominican Republic. So I went down to the Dominican Republic for 2 years in the summer and trained. And then I played my year in Calgary Babe Ruth and then got recruited to Dawgs and kind of just, like, shot up from there.
So aside from the hockey and the baseball, did you have other sports you grew up playing?
Not really. I grew up a lot on hockey. Like, my family's all hockey. Like, both my brothers play hockey. But I tried football last year. I played quarterback for my high school team in Calgary before I moved to Okotoks.
What was that aha moment for you? When did it kind of flip for you where you went, okay, this is the thing I want to chase? Like, was it the Dominican or was it something even before that?
I think it was before that. It was kind of my off season at CBA. It's academy. It's called Change Up Baseball Academy.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I started throwing and, like, I felt like I had somewhere, like, I could go in this sport, and it was kind of like this might be, like, my calling because, like, I started to lose love for hockey, and I'm like, I'm really enjoying this. So I'm going to give it all I have and see where I can take it.
Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned, you end up at Dawgs. What's that program meant to you in your development?
Man, it's been a real good experience. I love everything they do there. It's working around like some of the best athletes in Canada is just a mind-blowing experience. Like working beside Tim Piacentin all year and Robert Scalzo and Will Labonte, like guys like that just like pushed you to be the best you can be. So it's been a great experience. I'm excited to go again for my grade 12 year here.
Mm-hmm.
And the college trip's going to be a blast. So.
Speaking of, so the Dawgs, I don't know if you saw the news around the Dawgs 18U Black team being named number 2 in perfect games end of season rankings. What is it about that program that stands out to you as somebody kind of, I'll call it new to the scene and being able to see from the inside what they offer at Dawgs?
Yeah, so I was a part of that 18U Black team, and it was just a phenomenal experience. Like, we were just so connected. It was a family. We were like all one big group of family. Like, we all played for one another. We played for the name across the chest, and it was just a great experience being able to have that name across our chest and win all those games.
Well, and you won some pretty big tournaments to boot, and so it's got to be kind of a cool feather in the cap to a certain extent as you guys talk about the fact that, hey, we did all of that over the course of the year, eh?
Yeah, it's super cool. It was an awesome season. I was so glad to be a part of all of that.
That is fantastic. Looking back on the young career to this point, do you have a favorite memory or moment that sticks out to you where you really had to take that step back and go, man, I can't believe we get to do this?
Oh, let me think. I think it was like the first, like my first college trip like last year was kind of like eye-opening. I was kind of like, wow, like I never expected I'd ever be in like a situation where I'd be playing on like Oregon State's field. Like that is just like a dream come true. That was kind of like the moment I like realized everything.
That's fantastic. On the flip side, we all know baseball's a game of failures. So what's been the biggest challenge or the hurdle that you've really had to overcome and that you're proud that you were able to rise above?
I still think I'm overcoming it like to this day. I feel like it's a hard thing to overcome. It's the mental side of baseball, like being able to stay mentally strong when you're pitching because it's just you and your thoughts out there and you can't get in your head. So I've struggled with it for a while, and it's been getting better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I just need to keep working on being mentally strong and just being myself out there.
For sure. Looking ahead a little bit, grab the crystal ball. Obviously, you've got a year of high school left, and then you get to go out for the college scene. And I don't know if you've got a school picked out, but walk us through sort of the mindset, what you'd like to see out of a school, what you're hoping to get out of a program as you think about the next step in the baseball journey.
Yeah, I don't have a school yet, but I'm just looking for a school that I'm going to play at my first year there. I'd rather not like sit my first year redshirt. I want to be able to play my first year at a Division I or JUCO school.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a program in mind in the classroom that you'd like to chase? I know everybody kind of focuses on the baseball side, but is there something you'd like to do class size or classroom wise?
Not really. I think I might take business, and then after baseball, I want to become a firefighter.
Very cool.
I'll just probably take business in uni and then apply for the firefighter program.
Very cool. A few fun ones here before we let you go, Tyson. First off, what's your favorite ballpark food when you're there as a fan?
As a fan, I'm a big hot dog and pop guy. I like a good Diet Coke and a hot dog.
What are your condiments of choice on the hot dog?
I'm just a big ketchup and mustard guy. A lot of ketchup.
Oh, so you do both. Okay, all right. I'm with you on that front. I do both, but it can be a very polarizing conversation, so I like asking it. So that is cool. Yeah. What is your favorite baseball movie?
Oh, probably Moneyball. I really enjoy watching that movie. That's just like one of the movies me and my dad watched when I was younger, and stuck with me for a long time.
It's a great one. And finally, who's your baseball hero? Like, who maybe did you have a poster up on the wall as a kid or that kind of stuff, or maybe the one player that you really enjoyed watching in the bigs?
I'd say like I never had like a guy I really enjoyed watching in the bigs. I really enjoyed watching Chase Burns in college baseball. It's kind of been like one of the guys I've looked up to most of my career, like baseball career, and it was exciting to see him make his debut, and then we'll be this season.
That is awesome. Two more. They're standard across the board that we ask everybody here on the show. First off, for those young kids who are just starting out on their Dawgs journey, for example, and they're maybe in 13U or whatever the case may be, and they're looking up to you and going, hey, I want to be in your shoes one day. What's that one piece of advice or those words of wisdom you'd like to impart upon them?
Probably just keep working. There's always someone out there working harder than you, so try to be the hardest worker you can be.
That's a good one. And the final one here, what does the game of baseball mean to you, Tyson?
It's my life. I love it, and it brings me joy every day. Stepping onto the field or stepping into the field house is just my life, and hope it takes me a long way in life.
We sure hope so as well, Tyson. Congratulations again on all the success of this season, continued success at the Canadian Future Showcase and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
And we'll wrap things up by rewinding the tape back a couple of weekends to the Baseball Canada 18U National Championships in Fort McMurray. The host Oil Giants went 3-1 in the round robin before losing to BC in the semis. Then they knocked off Manitoba 5-3 to capture the bronze medal. One of the veterans on the team is utilityman Ethian Mayuk, who ate up some big innings in front of the hometown crowd.
Ethan, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
What a way to cap a season, winning a medal at Nationals. And oh, by the way, yeah, you did it at home. Now that you've had a few days to maybe soak it all in, how does that feel?
It feels great, honestly. Winning a gold medal at home is, like, unbelievable. Like, it's just so unreal to me.
You and I talked about this off air a little bit. Did you enter the tournament thinking, hey, we've got a good shot at this, even though we're not maybe one of those stacked provincial teams, we're a pretty local team?
I mean, I knew our team was strong. I knew our team could do it. I believed in our team for sure. It was just how the cards fell.
Mm-hmm. You start off the tournament, a pair of wins against Team Alberta and New Brunswick. Take us back to that first game, though. On home turf, the lights are on against that provincial team. What did it mean to you and the Fort Mac squad to pull out an 8-7 victory?
I mean, it meant a lot to us. For our first game in Nationals, taking the win, it was an electric game for sure. Adrenaline was running all night, just waiting for St. Albert to come down after them just finishing a game against Ontario. And just waiting all day for that game to start, it was super electric.
Mm-hmm. After New Brunswick, it's a bit of a roller coaster. You get a loss to Ontario, a win over Quebec, then a loss in the semis to BC. What's maybe the mindset going into that bronze medal game? Because you're trying to, I guess, refocus and bounce yourselves back up again.
I mean, we knew that we had to end it on a high note, at least. Winning that bronze game was really our all-time goal after that, after losing the semis. But after that loss against BC really brought us together and just made us stronger to win that game.
What goes through your mind when that final out is recorded and you all can celebrate?
It was unreal to me. Like, just the shock of winning a medal at Nationals as a home team, host team even. It was so unreal.
I bet. How much does it fuel the fire for you and the teammates too? And that, yeah, you can hang with some of the big teams across the country kind of thing.
I mean, it brought open a lot of eyes on our team that we could hang around with these other teams across Canada, that we can play with them.
Mm-hmm. I love getting into the backstory. So let's roll into it. You're a Fort Mac kid. How'd you get into baseball in the first place?
I started about 13 years ago, and then just ever since then, I've just always loved the game and played all year round.
Do you remember who it was that said, hey, maybe you can try this instead of maybe some of the other sports?
It was my parents for sure. And then my brother, Lucas, he always played baseball, so I just followed him, and then we both just played baseball together.
Very cool. Was it all baseball all the time for you, or did you play a bunch of other sports?
Main sport was baseball. I played volleyball during high school, but I played that for a year, but that was it. Mostly it was straight baseball.
Very cool. Who's your favorite player growing up?
I don't really had a favorite player. I kind of liked everybody. I didn't pay much attention to baseball as a kid. I just loved playing the sport.
Oh, very interesting. Looking back on the young career, do you have a favorite memory or moment that stands out to you where you're like, you had to take that step back almost and go, man, I can't believe I get to do this?
Definitely my first year 18U, during provincials, I got the chance to pitch against Dawgs White in the semifinal game, which ended up bringing us to the gold and silver medal game. That was such an unreal moment for me, and I pitched one of my best games that game.
Take us into your mindset for a second when you're on. Like, what needs to happen? Are you a superstitious dude, or are you just like, man, this is my mindset going in, I'm attacking these hitters? What is it that when it's working, it's really working for you?
Basically just locking in, just laser focused towards my catcher, making sure I hit all my spots.
And that's when things go right for you. On the flip side, we all know baseball is a game of failure, so I'm always curious, what's been the biggest challenge or hurdle you've had to overcome over your baseball journey?
Definitely just failing. Failing at the plate most of the time is definitely a tough one for me. It was obviously the season since me being hurt, I didn't get much at the plate. But over the years, I've just coming over having tough seasons at the plate really just was a tough time.
Mm-hmm. What's the future have in store for you, Ethan? Do you have college plans at this point? Do you know what kind of program you're looking for? Walk us through what's sort of on your radar over the next little while here.
Right now, I'm going to be taking a gap year to get stronger. Hopefully heal up my hamstring. I'll be doing this at Weber Academy down in Calgary.
Oh, very cool. Well, welcome to the Calgary region then. Looking forward to having you here. A few fun ones here before we let you go, Ethan. First off, what's your favorite food at the ballpark when you're there as a fan?
Taco in a bag for sure.
Ooh, good choice. Very underrated choice as well. Is the Fort Mac one the place to be, or do you have one like you're like, oh, this one at this park is definitely the best?
Definitely the one at Rom Morgan, our 15-year Diamonds, where they are. That's where our FMBA is, our association. Their taco in a bags are probably the best I've ever had.
That's awesome. This is going to be like picking favorite children, but who's your favorite teammate, the one that always kind of stands out to you as being your best bud kind of thing?
I mean, that's a hard one for sure. They're all my favorites. I can't answer that one. That one's too hard for me.
I would never want to put you on the spot too much, but you never know if there's one that stands out. And finally, if you weren't playing baseball, what do you think you'd be doing?
I'd probably be working. I'm big into just being outdoors and stuff. So just doing activities.
Awesome. Two more for you before we let you go. First off, for those young kids who might be just starting out on their baseball journeys, maybe they're seeing you out at the ballpark and they want to get to where you're at now. They want a bronze medal or more hanging off their necks. What do you want to say to them? What kinds of advice would you love to impart upon them?
I'd say trust the process. Everything happens for a reason. And never give up on yourself. Always believe in yourself.
Really great advice there. And the final one, what does this game of baseball mean to you, Ethan?
Means to me that just make sure you're having fun to the sport. To me, it's just fun. Enjoy something that you are proud to play at.
Well, you've done a great job of that and more. And looking forward to what's next on your journey, Ethan. Congratulations on all the success you've had at this point, including a national bronze medal. Continued success as the journey unfolds. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Sydney Klebanosky, Tyson Kajmowicz, and Ethian Mayuk for joining us this week. And thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. If you like this or any other episode, make sure to leave us a rating and review, as doing that helps spread the word about ADS and the show. And don't forget to hit subscribe, as we'll have new episodes right through to the end of the year to capture award season, all the stories from the pros, and even a few blasts from the past. As always, a tip of the cap to our platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dogs, Under the Light Sports and Entertainment, and the Western Canadian Baseball League for their generosity in helping us tell the game stories in our province. For more on our tremendous teammates, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. And if you're interested in joining our roster, feel free to email me directly at joe@albertadugoutstories.com. Until next time, thank you for all of your support, online, on social, and on air, of Alberta Dugout Stories.